I'm here in my kitchen with the ingredients to make a chunky pasta sauce. So let's get started. I have 2 stalks of celery, have a serrano pepper, I have about a handful of fresh basil, some cilantro, I have some fresh flat leaf parsley, a couple of stalks of green onions. Right here I have some leftover pre-cut orange, red, and green bell pepper. I have some sea salt, some paprika. This is some crushed up, some black pepper that I just pounded out. And this right here is turmeric. I'm using fresh tomatoes, so I have a bag of some fresh tomatoes that I got from my local farm, and I have 2 packs of turkey meat. Okay, so what I have here in my blender are the tomatoes I just cut up, and I'm going to puree this, and then I'm going to put it into my Dutch oven. Now I kind of like my sauce a bit chunky, so done. I forgot to show the onion. I also put onion into my sauce, but I'm going to puree that because I have enough other chunky stuff that I'm putting in there, and a couple of cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to puree that a little. Right here I have a little bit of jalapeno infused olive oil that I'm just going to pour inside, just a little bit, just to kind of give it an extra little flavor. So I'm going to pour a bit inside of my Dutch oven. I have the fire on like a medium high heat, and I'm going to add my pureed tomato sauce into my pot. And since I'm using fresh tomatoes, they really have to cook down a bit. So could you see how they kind of like that, almost like a pinkish color? And I kind of want to have them like the bright red color. So I'm going to cut up the rest of my tomatoes, puree them, and add them into this. So you can kind of see that the sauce has bubbled up a bit. I pureed the rest of my tomatoes and put it in here. And I'm giving this a stir. And I haven't added any of my seasonings yet. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'm just going to let this all cook down to how I want it, and then later I'm going to add the ground turkey meat. Now you can leave this, you don't have to add meat if you don't want to, you know, or any other kind of vegetables. You know, you can really make it your own. So let me go chop up the rest of the vegetables. And okay, so look at how wonderful my sauce looks, and it's just been kind of like on a high boil, and I haven't touched it, and you can kind of tell that it kind of reduced down a bit. I'm using my iPad now because my camera ran out of battery, or whatever, the battery expired. So here are my cut up colorful peppers. What do you call these? What are these? Green stock. I'm total having a total my green onions and my celery. So I'm going to add this to there. I'm not going to add my my herbal seasonings yet, meaning my fresh herbs, because I don't want them to, you know, like cook down too much. So let me put this in here and then come back. Put in my produce, and I'm just kind of putting in, I'm just doing all this by feel. You know, of course you can always add whatever seasonings you know you want, totally make it your own. Here's my paprika, that was turmeric. Here's a bit of paprika, and I put some black salt, pepper, and then I'm just kind of putting in my my pink salt, my pink Himalayan salt, not too much. Then I'm going to give this a stir, and I'm actually going to turn this down because I kind of have it. I know some people like skim the tomato stuff off the top, but you know, I'm not about that life. So I'm just going to kind of turn this down to like medium low. And I'm going to let this cook some more, probably about another hour, or maybe it's been about 40 minutes. And I'm going to let this cook down a bit more, and then I'm going to cook my turkey meat and then add it. Okay, oops. This smells really good. It's really great when you use fresh tomatoes. If you have time to use fresh tomatoes for your pasta or spaghetti sauce. Okay, so I added some of my ground turkey. I was going to cook it separately, but really I'm just not about that life today. So I'm just kind of breaking this up with my hands. Well, with one hand, because I have my iPad with the other hand. And I'm just putting it into my tomato sauce mix. Okay, so like I said, you don't have to add meat, or you can add like ground beef or ground chicken or turkey or buffalo meat, or you can make meatballs. Really, you just make it your own. So I'll be back. Okay, so this is what my sauce is looking like once I added the turkey in here. And like I said, this is kind of on low heat, so I'm just going to let this cook for about 20 minutes or so, and then I'm going to add my fresh flat leaf parsley, cilantro, and basil. Okay, so this is what my pasta sauce is looking like now. The turkey that I just put inside is done. I have my fresh herbs over here, and I'm just grabbing them by the handful and kind of dropping them on top. So let me finish doing that, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I have my herbs in here. So of course you don't have to add any herbs, or if you don't have fresh ones on hand, you can always add dry ones, or you can leave them out. It's up to you. So, but sometimes I like for my sauce to be like really chunky. So this is what it's looking like. I'm just gonna kind of let this simmer for about maybe another 20 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it off. So you can also, this sauce also freezes well, because I've made this sauce before, and then I've given it, I froze it, and then I've given it away, and it holds up really well. Okay, so here is my finished product. Sorry that it's a little dark because it's kind of gotten later. So it's how I want it. It's nice and chunky. I'm trying to give you a close-up. It smells great. It tastes delicious. And like I said, this stuff freezes really well. So I have some noodles that I boiled, and I'm just kind of letting sit. So we'll put that together, and there you have it. Here is a basic chunky homemade pasta sauce using farm fresh tomatoes. Thanks for watching. Bye.